Workplace burnout and affordable housing are issues that shape how people experience daily life, from how they feel at work to whether they have a stable place to live. These problems affect people's health, security, and overall well being, and they continue to grow despite ongoing efforts to address them. So today, we are looking at why workplace burnout and affordable housing have become grand challenges, who is most impacted, and why these problems are so difficult to solve. Because of this, we also examine how design can help create more supportive systems and long-term solutions.
Our first grand challenge is workplace burnout. Individuals in high-stress jobs or roles that make balancing work and personal life difficult are at greater risk of experiencing burnout. However, burnout can affect anyone in any profession and may develop rapidly or gradually over time. Burnout is a syndrome caused by chronic, unmanaged workplace stress. It involves three main aspects: exhaustion, mental distancing or cynicism toward one's job, and a sense of ineffectiveness or lack of achievement. The term specifically applies to work-related experiences and should not be used for stress in other areas of life. Persistent clinical burnout is linked to heightened physical stress responses such as muscle tension, irritability, disrupted sleep, and elevated cortisol levels. It also impairs cognitive functioning, including memory, concentration, attention, and overall executive functioning. Individuals experiencing burnout often report feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, and powerlessness, as well as low self-esteem, cynicism, dissatisfaction with personal achievements, emotional distress, ineffective coping strategies, and challenges in meeting work-related demands. Our second grand challenge is affordable housing. This affects low-income families and people with disabilities, seniors, people living in metropolitan areas, people of color, nearly half of all renter households, and 23.6% of owner households were housing cost burdened in 2023. Affordable housing is generally defined as housing on which the occupant is paying no more than 30% of their gross income for housing costs, including utilities. Housing affordability is a major social detriment to our health. When housing becomes unaffordable, it leads to instability, financial strain, and increased risk of homelessness. These are associated with poor health and high health care costs. High housing costs can force people to cut back on essential needs such as food, transportation, and access to employment opportunities. Unaffordable rent contributes to emotional and psychological stress for individuals and families, especially those forced to relocate or facing eviction. With homelessness reaching record levels and evictions rising, the need for rental assistance continues to grow.
Why these challenges are important. When we look at issues like workplace burnout and affordable housing, they are not just random problems. They affect people every single day. And with burnout, it's more than just being tired. It impacts someone's mental health, their relationships, and how they even show up to work or at home. And when people feel overwhelmed all the time, it becomes harder for them to just do their jobs or even take care of themselves. And that stress can spill into their families and their communities. Affordable housing matters just as much. Having a stable, safe place to live is basically the foundation for everything else in life. When rent is too high or housing is unstable, people are constantly stressed and they have to move a lot, or they even end up living far from work. This makes it harder to feel secure or plan for the future. So these challenges are important because they help shape people's everyday lives. And when we work to fix them, we're not just helping individuals. We're helping the entire communities become healthier, safer, and most importantly, more supportive.
In the future, many different professionals will likely work on addressing the problems of workplace burnout. Human resource specialists and organizational psychologists will continue to develop healthier workplace policies, improve employee support systems, and promote a more balanced work environment. Information system designers and AI specialists may also play an important role by creating digital tools that help monitor workloads, identify early warning signs of burnout, and improve communication between employees and management. Together, these efforts can support employee well-being while maintaining productivity and organizational effectiveness. As for addressing affordable housing, this will also require collaboration among a wide range of people and organizations in the future. Urban planners and architects can design housing that is efficient, sustainable, and cost-effective, while also meeting the needs of diverse populations. Government housing agencies and policymakers can fund, regulate, and shape housing policies to increase access to affordable options and protect vulnerable communities. Additionally, developers and real estate professionals can contribute by creating innovative housing models that balance affordability with long term economic sustainability.
Design areas that could encourage improvement. I'm focusing on two main areas, which is service design and urban and architectural design, and how each one can help address the major challenges like workplace burnout and affording housing crisis. First, service design. Service design can play a major role in reducing workplace burnout. Service design looks at the entire flow of how people work inside a system. It maps out each step employees take throughout their day, and it identifies the points where stress builds up. Some of the most common contributors include poor communication, unclear roles, heavy schedules, and inefficient processes. By redesigning these parts of the system, service design can create smoother workflows, reduce confusion, and remove unnecessary pressure. For example, clearer role definitions help prevent employees from feeling overwhelmed by responsibilities that aren't theirs. Better communication systems reduce misunderstandings and constant back and forth. More balanced schedules help keep workloads realistic. And fixing inefficient processes saves time and energy, making everyday tasks more manageable. Overall, these improvements directly support employees' mental well-being, help prevent burnout, and create a more supportive and organized workplace environment. The second area is urban and architectural design, which is essential for improving affordable housing. This design field focuses on how homes and communities are planned, structured, and built. One of the biggest advantages is that it can redesign housing systems to use space efficiently. That means creating layouts and building styles that give residents what they need without unnecessary materials or wasted space, which lowers cost. It also helps reduce construction expenses by using smarter materials, modular building methods, and sustainable design strategies. These savings can help lead directly to more affordable housing options. Urban and architectural design also works to reinforce safe, livable environments by designing neighborhoods with proper lighting, accessible transportation routes, green spaces, and community resources. When housing is safe and comfortable, people are healthier and more stable. Finally, focusing on accessibility and sustainability helps make housing more long-lasting and inclusive. These improvements ensure that affordable housing is not only cheaper, but also designed for long-term quality living. Altogether, this creates housing communities that genuinely support residents rather than just offering the lowest cost options.
For workplace burnout, the resources needed go beyond just individual coping strategies. First, there is a need for human expertise. Organizational psychologists, human resources professionals, and service designers help analyze how work systems create stress and redesign healthier workflows. Financial investment is also critical. Employers need to fund wellness programs, flexible scheduling, mental health benefits, and management training. Technology plays a role as well, since digital tools and data systems can help monitor workload, improve communication, and identify early signs of burnout. Finally, time and evaluation are essential because reducing burnout requires long-term testing, employee feedback, and continuous improvement rather than quick fixes. For affordable housing, the resources required are broader and more systemic. Funding and financial support for government grants, tax incentives, and subsidies are necessary to support construction and long-term maintenance. Design and planning and resources are also key. Urban planners, architects, and engineers need to access land, sustainable materials, and infrastructure to build cost-effective housing. Policy and regulation matter as well, since zoning reform and housing policy can reduce barriers to development. Lastly, community support systems such as nonprofit organizations and local agencies help residents access housing assistance, legal aid, and social services. Together, these resources show that both the challenges require coordinated, long-term solutions across multiple systems.